Meet DACREWPODCAST. We are the change we desire to see in this world. If you won't change, you have to be the change. We are looking for 3 more hosts to join our team. If you have a message for the world and would like to be a part of the hottest new podcast and media network rocking the podcast world right now, join DACREW Podcast and Media Network. Looking for a little exposure? Allow IHEART Enterprises the opportunity to share your brand around the world. We will work with you to develop a package that fits your budget. Contact IHEART via email and schedule a consultation. DACREWPODCAST 2023@gmail.com. We are the change we desire to see.
Are you tired of the burden of past financial mistakes weighing you down? Look no further than BHG Credit Solutions, the industry leader in credit repair. We understand the challenges you face: charge-offs, late payments, bankruptcy, and those daunting student loans, but don't let them define your financial future. Here at BHG Credit Solutions, we've got your back. Our team of dedicated professionals specializes in turning credit adversity into opportunity. We'll work tirelessly to dispute inaccuracies, negotiate with creditors, and to develop personalized strategies tailored to your unique situation. Our proven track record speaks for itself. Countless satisfied clients have seen their credit scores soar.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is a founding sponsor for DACREW Podcast. Get featured inside the magazine and allow your voice to be heard around the world.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is an international magazine founded in May of 2020 by Queen Angela. Get featured.
Hey, y'all, and welcome. I want to welcome you to another episode of the Crew Podcast. I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Tonight was going to be a panel discussion. We have some individuals that's stopping by. I think I have one guest in the backstage, but we have we're going to be talking about prison awareness. This is Prison Awareness Month. I'm going to be giving my guests an opportunity to share their perspectives and to share their thoughts because they have someone that is incarcerated. And what we are doing is being a platform and an outlet for individuals to be able to share. Of course, you guys know that I am an advocate for those that are wrongfully and overly incarcerated. Currently, I'm working with some individuals in the state of Texas that are currently incarcerated at the Conley unit in Kennedy, Texas. So I am definitely hands-on with this. So often we don't realize that this is an issue because it's not happening directly to us. It's not happening to one of our family members or one of our loved ones. And then it hits us. And then we have to deal with it. So we're going to get a perspective from someone that has someone behind prison walls and what it's like. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. For those that do not know who I am the visionary of the Crew Podcast. My name is Angela Thomas Smith, but of course, most of you guys know me as the queen of collaboration across most social media platforms in these social media streets. My whole desire is to let people know that they have purpose. We are the change that we desire to see in this world. And we have to be that change that we want to see. So I'm going to move on out the way, give my guest an opportunity to introduce herself. And then, y'all, we're going to jump in this conversation. I want you guys to make sure if you have questions, if you have comments, that you are commenting in the commenting section. Also, please share this in your circle of influence because you never know what the next person may be in need of. You never know what they may be going through and what advice, what nugget you may be able to give them. So please share this in your circle while I bring my guests up.
Hello, I am Petra Bailon. I am married to an individual who is incarcerated currently at Connolly Unit. He has been incarcerated for 13 years, and we have been married for 5. Uh, and I've been here for him. And in these 5 years, he was before he was at Eastham Unit, and now he's at Connolly. He's been at Connolly for the last 5 years, and it has been
Wow.
a everyday struggle. There's always something. Before, when we first met, I would roar and oh this and that, but it didn't do anything. It there was no effect. Sometimes silence is key. you know, no answer is an answer. It was it was going on unheard ears. They literally don't care.
And
Well,
that's what they want. That I've realized that that's what they want you to do. They want you to back up. They want you to stop. They want to try to give you the runaround. I've been dealing with this here lately. I'm dealing with a couple individuals, and I wish I should have pulled up some of their clips. And they're right there in the Connolly unit with your loved one. Um,
mhm,
it I tell people all the time, this is a very big world, but it's very small. You see how God just brought that right together. And I have a YouTube, and I think I have right now maybe about 100 videos and clips from individuals that are at the Connolly unit, sharing about different things that's happening there, different things that they're doing, and just different stuff. So
mhm.
I've been getting it from everybody because I've talked to someone that's been there for 33 years and have been at the Connolly unit, I want to say the last 11. They've been at the Connolly unit for the last 11. Then there's someone that's been there 25 years.
Yes.
Someone's been there 12 years. Like it and like
Well, you know,
they
and I
try
live
they try to intimidate you, and I refuse to allow them to do that. Um
I
I
I live
had some
1
issues
hour
because I
away
also
from
have a
you.
magazine.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
I live 1 hour away from the unit, and I used to actually work with guards that are there, and I didn't
Mhm.
realize it because they worked with me at Walmart until they had started posting that they had became COs there. And I never let them know, like, hey, my husband is incarcerated there or anything, because I would pay attention to their conversations. And
Right.
I've told my husband, I said, I keep them on because if I ever need to go back and show people, like, hey, you know what, this is exactly what COs say about inmates. They make fun of them. They treat them like animals. I've literally seen them say, I told some guy no today just to make him mad. Like, what's the point of that? Like, are they not human too? Do you think you'll never be in their
But they
position?
don't think so. They don't think so. They think that because they are wards of the state, that they belong to the state, and um they don't have rights. you know I just had this conversation with one of the inmates today. I it's sad because every Monday I have conversations with them. I listen to them. They it's really sad.
Yes.
They they keep magazines, they keep they important mail, they keep they do all types of stuff, and then you have to go above and beyond. Like I keep a paper trail because they're not just going to get an email from me, but they're going to get an email going to your regional director. You're going to get an email going to the executive director. You're going to get an email going to the Congress people. You're going to get an email going to the ombudsman, and you're going to have about 20 people in this email, and somebody gonna move now, and they're gonna do what they're supposed to do. And see, they wait until you get to to the writing of the letters and the running ads in the magazines and in the newspaper and calling the news stations before they want to do something. But it's too late for all that. They have had their opportunity to do right by the people that they have been given charge over. And it start with the top. It start with the government. See, it's too much corruption going on in the state of Texas, and they just opened up a can of worms when they allowed this man to walk free. When it's quite, I mean, a blind person can see that this man is guilty as all outdoors. You got a mistress. You've been doing this. You've been doing this. Money going this place. Money going this place. And people just keep turning the left. No, we're not doing that. We're not gonna keep turning the left cheek and the right cheek. No, we don't did all that. Those times are over, and it's time for these people to do right by the people. They need to do what they have been elected to do. You got all these laws that some of these people shouldn't even be incarcerated. Some of these people, some of them did do what they did, but you gave them too much time, and then you make it hard for them to get released. Why? Because the people that sit on the parole board are former COs, former police officer, lawyers, DAs. They former people that had the power to put them there. So of course you put them there, they're a number to them. They're another dollar sign to them. That's how they is to them. And until we get these people out of office, and I'm not even in the state of Texas. That's why it's so crazy. I'm not even in the state of Texas. I'm out here on the East Coast. I'm in South Carolina. But I get up in the morning and I call these people and I harass these people because you're going to do right by the ones that I have contact with now. I'm in contact with them. So guess what? I got to do right by them now. When you know better, you got to do better. And that's what's happening. People are realizing, hey, these people are mistreating these people. They slapping peanut butter on bread and molded bread at that. Old bologna, salami, whatever they can give these people. I look at these pictures that these people send me. You put soup. Who puts a dab of soup on 2 loaves of bread and call that a sandwich? And then you throwing it to them in what they call Johnny's. What is a Johnny? And when do you start doing drive-bys? What happened to them going in the cafeteria and sitting down and having a hot meal like humans? When did all that stop?
Their excuses always
I
were
get
short.
passionate about this because that's crazy. I'm sorry.
Their excuse is always that they're short-staffed.
Okay. Well, if you stop, okay, just imagine if you're treating the inmates like that. So if you're treating the inmates like that, you treating the people like that too. I told them it all start with the warden. Look at who you putting in charge of these places. It all start if the warden want to clean up that place and want that place to be in order and want this to happen and want this to happen, it can happen. Because they're doing it in other places, so you can't tell me that it cannot happen. It's happening in other places. And these people are being rehabilitated. They're coming home and they're being productive citizens because they're given the opportunity to go to school. They're getting the opportunity to feel good about themselves. They're getting the opportunity to feel like a human being. That they're given that opportunity. Because somebody did something wrong do not mean that they are evil people. And that's what we got to realize. Because a lot of these people that are free and on the outside that are making these decisions, they're the ones that need to be locked up. And I'll shout it to the mountaintop. I don't care. I'm not scared of them. And they're going to stop. They're going to stop doing this to people. Like I stand up against them all the time. Them people down there at Conley, they know my name. They know me by first name. They was saying Miss Smith, but now they know me by name. They call they Miss Angela. Miss Angela don't call over there to the regional. She don't call it and custom people out there. And I ain't even cuss them out. And I told him, I said, I didn't cuss them out. I said, but I did hang up on them. I said, I don't got to cuss. But I did hang up on them. Because they need to do right by their people. Like they don't know when the shoes are gonna turn.
Nope.
Because I got the guy that I interviewed right here in Conley Unit. He was a sheriff. The man worked for them. And he sat right there behind prison walls for something that he didn't even do. And these people want to have double jeopardy. They want to have all kind of stuff against these people. Man, it's sad. And Texas need to wake up. Texas need to wake up. They need to get these people that are in office, Ron Reynolds, Sheila Jackson Lee, Carlos Sherman, Monica De La Cruz, Ted Cruz, Jeff Lynch, and Joe Moody, all of them. They need to be out of there if they're not going to do what they're supposed to do. And people need to stop being quiet. Like, I know as a wife, and you said y'all only been married 5 years. So how long have y'all known? Did y'all know each other? Did you know him before he went to prison? Or did you meet him in prison?
No, I knew him before.
You knew him before he went to prison? Okay. So that means, okay, he been in prison 11 years and y'all been married 5 years. So that means y'all got married while he was in prison.
He's been in there 13 years.
He's been there 13 years. Okay. So what made you say, okay, I'm going to marry this man? Like, this is who I want to be with, and this is what I'm going to do.
Well, you know, we met in 2008, 2009. He lived in Dallas, and I'm originally from Houston, Texas. And so I was living in Dallas at the time, and we met, and I ended, because I have children, I ended up going back to Houston to be with the father of my children. And I never heard from him, and I didn't know that it was because he had got incarcerated. And even when I knew him then and what I know of him now, my husband doesn't belong in there. I have a brother who has been in and out of jail my entire life, and I call him can't get right because he don't get right. But, you know, my husband doesn't belong in there. He's smart. He's a wonderful person. He's so respectful, and it just, I don't have a bad word to say about him. Like, we don't argue on the phone. If we do, we get over it quickly. We were told once by a friend of his, because my husband's Muslim, he said, even on y'all's bad days, y'all are still doing bad, which is because we're still apart. And so we try to keep that in mind whenever one of us gets upset with the other or so on. I have, as much as I can, been his voice out here. Again, so many times it has fallen on deaf ears that I'm not going to say I gave up, but I know now speaking with any of the wardens or any of that is useless. About not this warden, but the warden they had before this last one. I was on the phone with my husband and a guard that didn't like him. And I know she didn't like him because he was working on her crew, and she kept calling him the B word, like, you know, like slang, saying, oh, you B. And my husband told her, he's like, hey, you know, I don't talk like that. I don't allow anybody to talk like that to me. And so she kept doing it. So he said, so I put the boxes down and I walked off. I told him to let me back in my cell. Like, I told him I wasn't going to be on her crew. Well, after that, she was really upset. So one day she came in and she wrote him up and said that he had clothes hanging on a line, and he didn't. He had them hanging on his cell because he was about to take a shower. So he got a write-up for that. And then shortly after that, I was on the phone, and she came in, and I know it was her because he had told me, but all I could hear was a woman in the background going, I said, get in the effing cell. Like, are you effing deaf? Get in the effing cell. Like, I'm not going to say it again. And I'm like, are they allowed to talk to you like that? And he's like, no, they're not. But this is the same one that's been giving me problems. So I called up there and I had spoke with that warden. And I told that warden, I know y'all record the calls. If I can hear her, then that recording can hear her. But, they can say, they said that they heard it and they didn't hear anything. I said, well, you're not going to admit to me that you heard her saying that. They're not going to say, oh, yeah, I heard her saying it. That's wrong. She was still there. She was still there. And this happened 2-3 years ago. She was still there up until maybe like a few months ago. And that's only because she transferred, not because they fired her or she got in any trouble. It's a terrible unit. He's been sick and they haven't helped him with stuff. The food, this recent lockdown, he said, I feel really sick. And so one of the cooks told him that the meat they were serving was ground beef and it was pork. Muslims don't eat pork. My husband hasn't eaten pork in over 10 years.
Yeah, they've been serving pork. They've been doing pulled pork this and pulled pork that. I mean, I know what they've been serving. They and then they call themselves, I think it was the holiday. Labor Day was when they were supposedly had beef. But then how you gonna have some pork chops too and have beef? I said all that was pork.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they do. It's a lot of people down there they don't even eat the food. They just eat the food out of commissary. But with them being on lockdown like that, they can't even get commissary like they normally get commissary. So this is a question that a lot of people that I talk to that have someone behind prison walls, they say that sometimes it make them feel like they're incarcerated too, like they're going through too. So how does it make you feel? Do it make you feel like sometimes you feel like you're doing time with them?
Well, Miss Angela, when I was younger, I have been incarcerated. And because that sticks with me so much, my older brother, we're a year apart and we were inseparable when we were younger. And even then it hurt me. But now that it's my husband and, I can imagine on the holidays, on days where it's scorching hot outside and it's over here in Texas, it's 110 degrees and they don't have anything that cools them off. They give us respite showers. And then one day they skipped his respite shower because he asked more than one time. So yeah, it does. It affects me. And, sometimes when he tells me, I tell him that it breaks my heart. And he says, you know what? And my husband is really good about it. He says, it's my fault. I put myself here. That's what he says all the time. That's what I get for coming to prison. That's what he'll say. But at the end of the day, he doesn't belong there. My husband's case, we've had a lawyer working on it for 2 years. His fault was that he did sell firearms, okay? And he sold drugs. So what happened was a guy that he had sold to rented him a car. And when he got pulled over in that car, they found out that it was jacked. And there was 2 people in the front and 2 people in the back. And the driver and the passenger in the front said, no, my husband is 6'1". And so they said, no, it wasn't him. The guy that robbed us was much shorter. Okay. My husband took it to trial because he was like, no, I might have had guns, but I didn't rob them. And so he took it to trial and the front driver and the passenger driver said, no, it wasn't him. And one of the backseat drivers said, no, it wasn't him. But just one passenger in the back said it looked like him. And he ended up getting 35 years. And like I said, he's already done what he can as far as, appealing it and everything like that. So now we have a lawyer that's just trying to reduce his sentence because they don't care, to them. He sold drugs and guns. We put him away. Yeah, but you put away the wrong person. Like how, because one person said that might look like him, you were in the back. The driver, the one that had the gun pointed at him, said, no, the other guy was much shorter and it didn't matter. And
They don't care.
since my husband was in the adoption system, he had no one on his side. He had no one to say, "Hey, well, you know what? No, that's not the type of person he is." He didn't have anybody.
Wow. And there's so many people at that same unit. When I tell you, it's so many people at that same unit that have similar stories and have nobody to help them. Like it's sad. Um, I really have been. When I tell you, I have been sharing as many people's story as I could. That's what I've been doing. Like every Monday morning, I'm live from that unit. Um, I forget which building it is, but there's actually two. One of the guys is like what you would call a life coach. He's part of the life coaching program. Like he can roam around through the different units. Like when that last guy that committed suicide over in the unit, they were able to go out and talk to people and stuff like that. um he's been locked up for a while. you know the comments and the things that I've been seeing from the videos that I have posted over on the Free Texas campaign YouTube. Everybody like he don't need to be locked up, that he should be free. But these people they're not trying to hear that. And instead of them trying to obey the laws that they have in place, because they have laws in place that would cut some of these people's time. But it's these people at this parole board that they got stuck in their mind that these people not rehabilitated because they don't believe in rehabilitation. And it's evident that they don't, because if they did, they would have programs in place. They would have
Yeah,
programs in place that would be helping these people. They would be going to school. They would be taking up a trade. They would be taking up something that would help them on the outside. Not only that, they would make sure that these people were mentally and emotionally stable and able to come out and be a part of the community. They would be start getting them on a path to getting back into the community. Like you just don't just throw somebody out there. You got to get them prepared, because guess what? You don't broke these people, especially these people that's been locked up over 10 years. You don't broke them, because guess what? The first 5 years they probably was fighting for their life. They was probably fighting just to survive. These are
hmm,
some of the stories that I hear. These are some of the stories that we share at the Free Texas campaign over on the YouTube. You can listen to some of these people's story. One of the guys, he said he was a little short guy. He is a little short guy, and he said every day he was fighting. And he said he fought every day. He said because he wasn't finna let nobody take advantage of him. He didn't have nobody fighting. He said he wasn't finna make no excuses. He said he told his story. He did what he did. And he said, I'm gonna do it. He said, and I'm doing my time. He said, and yes, I'm sorry. He said, you know what? It didn't hit me. And I was in the courtroom and I heard that little baby, that 4-year-old child. And he said, that's when it hit me. He said, but I'm doing better. He said, and I'm making the best of what I can. He said, but it's sad how they do people.
hmm,
People that ain't even concerned about themselves. Some of these people not concerned about themselves. They worried about other people too. That's
hmm.
man, they so concerned about other people being free and other people getting back to their families. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of stories that I've been sharing. I don't know what area your husband's in.
Uh, D3. I want to say he's in three building.
Three.
Is it
Okay,
three?
I think
Yeah, it's possible. I don't.
that's
I want to
okay.
say three or four building because I know probably during summertime he had moved, so I'm not real positive on that either. uh,
Because I know over there where a lot of the ones that I talk to, they in a place that have it has what they call cubicles.
mhm.
It's not like a dorm. It's like
Oh, he's not in a dorm. He's where they're each cells.
and they got cells up on the top floor and
Uh-huh.
around the walls, and then they got some kind of like makeshift cubicles set up in the middle, some or something, because
Oh no,
these people
I
they not in no they not
oh
in no some of them you have to ask the next time you talk to them, because that's how it was explained to me. It's like you know how we got those dividers when we go into like those different offices and they have those dividers
mhm.
that it's set up like that. I think that's what from what they described to me, that's how it's set up. So everybody
Okay.
got their own little, they don't have to share nothing with nobody. They got their own little what's the name? The
No
ones
little
that's
like
in those
cubicles.
cubicles, what they call cubicles.
Oh wow.
They
I'm
don't
gonna
they
have to
don't
ask.
have to share with nobody.
Yeah, because he's a
But it's
barber.
like they ain't got no doors. They ain't got no
Me.
doors. People can just walk in your people can just walk in your thing from whatever. It's just like a divider. They just got the dividers that separate everything.
Hmm.
But yeah. I tell you, I truly have enjoyed talking to you tonight. Um,
Yes, I like
just
it.
having
Love
conversation.
what you're doing.
You
It's
just it's just having real conversation so people can see it's not about nothing professional. It's not about no nothing. This is real stuff. This is really what's happening, and we need to let people see really what's going on, and they need to see us as true as we can be. So they can understand that this is real. This is what's happening. This is not nothing that you seeing on TV. This is really what's happening in my life. So I definitely want to invite you back. I'm
yes.
definitely going to be reaching out to I know one of the young ladies she actually started a new job on tonight. One of the young ladies that was in the chat, she actually started a new job working with
Mhm.
some youth. I think she's in the state of Georgia, but she started a new job tonight. But she really wanted to be here. I think she said if she could, she was going to be watching us. So she's watching out
Oh,
there. I definitely want to extend the invitation to her, and of course we will be back on here because every fourth Monday of the month, I am going to be hosting a show and allowing individuals that want to come on. And that's anybody. If you know other wives or girlfriends that may want to come on and share, I mean, if they just want to talk about their story, any situation that's going on, anything that we can come together. And when we come together and a lot of us speak up, that's when people start realizing that, hey, yeah, there is a problem. And
yes.
sometimes we can't be quiet. And if everybody's speaking the same thing, then it's got to be some truth behind it, and you got to investigate it. And that's what I'm gonna keep yelling until I'm blue in the face, because just like these people, every day I see somebody saying they may coming home, and everybody that I talk to, they coming home because I keep telling them they coming home because they've been wrongfully and overly incarcerated. And them
Yes.
gates are gonna swing up. Them gates are going to swing open,
And
and they are gonna walk through them. Yeah, I'm telling you,
yes,
they're gonna swing open. But until they do, we gonna keep on being that voice because they need us. They need us, and they don't need us to be quiet. And that's what these people are banking on us to be quiet. Because guess what? If I hadn't opened my mouth for Mr. Drummond today, no, 2 days ago on Monday, if I hadn't opened my mouth for him, these people would have been still sitting around holding on to his money and not releasing his money when his money is supposed to be sitting over there in the U.S. District Court, because he got two appeals up there. He got two court cases in the U.S. District Court where he's
oh,
suing them
wow.
people. He's suing, man. He's suing the state of Texas. The man, it's so many people involved in it. And what's gonna happen? It's gonna open up a whole bunch of other cases. But people acting like this ain't happened. But it was investigated. It was on the news. But then y'all brushed it under the rug like it didn't happen. But guess what? It's coming back up, and I got all the paperwork. You can't stop me. You can't shut me up, because guess what? I'm not in the state of Texas. Not in the state of Texas, so I'm not under your leadership. I'm not under your rules. I'm not under your regulations. So you can't shut me up.
They're
Freedom of
terrible
speech,
laws.
all that. Texas ain't part of the U.S. Constitution, and Texas ain't a part of this, and they don't have to buy it. Well, guess what? Everything that y'all doing, y'all need to show me in writing. If you can't show me in writing, then that's not the policy. because the policy is in writing. And guess what? When they was holding on to them people mail, guess what? They had to come up off their mail. They was trying to keep my magazine from getting into prison. They was trying to
Wow.
keep my magazine from getting into prison. My magazine been going in that prison since last year in November. And for the last two July issue, June issue, and then here it come again. They tried to keep my magazine from going, and then the warden Davis, gonna try to send it over to DRC and try to get it investigated. But guess what? I'm already hooked to
Aspiring
what y'all been
Arthur's
doing.
magazine.
I already got a paper trail. Huh?
Is it the Aspiring Arthur's
I didn't hear
magazine?
you.
The Aspiring Arthur's
Yes, how you
magazine?
know?
I
Uh-huh.
think my husband knows about you. I am actually typing it up in my computer now. My husband has wrote a book.
Okay, so what's your husband's name? See?
His name is Gabriel Bailon.
Okay, I'll have to ask Mr. Drummond, do he know him? His name is
Yes,
Gabriel Bylon.
Gabriel Bailon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a
I'll ask him.
yeah. I've been typing it for a while now, but I told him, I said I can what do you call that when I can put it on Amazon for free, And he's like, well, why is it taking you so long to type it? I said, I haven't typed in a really long time. It takes me a long time.
Right.
But yeah, to publish it.
So
Yeah.
that's
I was
yeah. Well, yeah, they tried to keep my magazine from coming in there. They sent it out to DRC, try to say all kind of stuff about it. But truth, we share a lot of these people's story. We share different perspective. I mean, we share whatever. If it's the truth, so I'm sharing it. I don't care who
Mhm.
don't want to hear it. It's being shared because guess what? You got a lot of these people that's locked up that need to be free.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
some of these people did do what they supposed to do, but they don't serve their time. Their time is over with. How you gonna keep somebody locked up for 33 years for something you didn't even investigate? Mr.
Hmm.
Drummond got $100 million lawsuit and a $55 million lawsuit against these people. He had $300 for one lawsuit supposed to have been sent out, and $300 for another lawsuit supposed to have been sent out. These people did not send it out. Yeah, I want everybody to know what they did. I want every single person that listening to know what these people did. They held on to that man's stuff. He requested for $2,000 to be sent to his brother. Okay, fine. They want to investigate why he's sending $2,000. Okay, this is his brother. His brother asked for it. You need to contact his brother and ask his brother why he needs $2,000. Don't be asking him. This man is locked up. Just like how is they getting the drugs in? This
Do the
whole lockdown was
bars.
brought on because those people got caught with the drugs. Somebody was circling the parking lot. They called the outside police. The outside police came. They pulled the car over. The car had cell phones, cigarettes, and drugs, all kind of stuff in it. So then
Hmm.
they arrested all the people that was on the outside. All the what they call them people. What they call them? Not just the trustees, but the
The
the the
COs.
C. Yeah, the no, not the COs. The people that the prisoners that think they COs. That's what they.
The trust.
So that's a whole. It's a whole bunch of
Mhm.
them. It's one over there in that unit that be over there, man. He be locking the door so they can't get on the phones because on Mondays that's when I usually do my calls on Mondays. There's another unit. I don't know what unit. I forget what what pod that is that they call from. But do you know? Have you ever heard of a guy named Ayala? Have you ever heard your
No,
husband talking about a guy named Ayala?
I think so.
And if you heard your husband talking about a guy named Cornell, drummer, they call him Drumstick.
Cornell, yes.
Well, Cornell is who I talk to Cornell every single day.
Okay. Yeah, I
Him,
have heard of Cornell.
I talk to him. I talk to Ayala. I talk to Drew Mack. Matter of fact, Drew Mack is in one of my poetry books. The one that's called Cries from Within My Soul. It's a poetry book. It's a white with red writing. It's a picture of a eye on it. Drew
Mm-hmm.
Mack put 4 poems in it. And I have
Oh,
a whole stack of poems that this guy has written. Um, Drew Mack teaches karate. He teaches a lot of the guys there karate. He's a Muslim too. So your husband definitely might know him
yes.
because he's a Muslim too.
Yes.
And he teaches karate, he teaches yoga. When I tell you this is a small world, this is a small world. And it's not by coincidence. Everything, when I tell people it's not by accident that God bring
Well,
people into my life.
my daughter asked my husband, uh, she said, "What?" Because he always says, "I studied all religions," and she said, "Well, if you studied all religions, why did you pick Muslim?" And he says, "Well, it was the most disciplined um, when it comes to following God and how they believe in things." But he has shared a lot of names, and I know I've heard Cornell and I've heard Drew. I've heard of them, so I'm pretty sure they know who my husband is.
Then I'm sure they probably talk. They definitely probably have been talking about me. They call me the queen,
I think if
or they
you were
call me.
to talk with my husband, you'd have a wonderful conversation. You'd enjoy it.
Well, you should tell him to tell Cornell to get him on Monday. Tell him to
Okay.
get him on the Monday, because we didn't do it this past Monday, but we'll probably be back on Monday because we had a lot of stuff going on. See, I'm
And
here
how
in
do
Atlanta. I'm not
you
home in Myrtle
you do a
Beach. I'm
video or
normally in
you do
Myrtle
phone
Beach.
calls?
We we do it through the phone because I do it on Blog Talk Radio. It's streamed through Blog Talk Radio, but I go live like I am live now. See, right now we're live on Facebook,
Uh huh.
LinkedIn, and YouTube. And then once we get
Okay.
off, I'll download it, and then I'll make little clips. Like I'll make little reels, so it'll float around on Facebook, and then I'll make some little audios. Um, it'll go over to speaker.com. Speaker.com is an audio platform, so it'll be distributed to like iHeartRadio, um, different little places. Like it may even come up on Alexa, because like I got a book that's coming out on October the 1st. It's gonna release on October the 1st. So
Mm-hmm.
today it come up on my email. The last book that came out, my niece said it made an announcement on Alexa that I had a book coming out.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, she said, I know it was on Alexa. I say, wow, I didn't even know that. But yeah, it sent me an email today telling me that I got a book coming out on October the 1st. So everybody go download your e-copy of my domestic violence. It's a 31-day devotional, and it's just something that will encourage you, even if you may not be going through domestic violence. It's just something that will lift you up and encourage you to come out of that space that you are. Because so often we get stuck and complacent in a place where we are. We get comfortable in that place, and sometimes we got to step outside that box. So I have
Yes.
two amazing individuals. We all three overcame domestic violence. You looking at someone that was shot point blank range with a sawed off shotgun. I shouldn't even be here. My whole right side of my
Goodness.
body should have been blown off. I shouldn't be here, but I'm here, and it was only by the grace and the mercy of God that I'm able to do what I'm doing. And this happened to me in 2014. God spared my life. Next year to be 10 years. And he spared my life. He gave me a second chance. He gave me a third chance. He gave me a fourth chance. So guess what? I can't sit down on him, and I can't sit down on his goodness, because he's been too good to me. He's been truly good to
Mm-hmm.
me, to be able to allow me this opportunity to do the stuff that I'm doing, to even be able to have this podcast, to be able to allow individuals to share. So definitely want to stay connected to you. Definitely want to invite you to come back. I will be doing
Yes,
a
ma'am.
show every fourth Monday of the month. So mark your calendars. And if you know any other women that would like to be a part, if they a girlfriend or a wife, or if they just have a loved one that is incarcerated and they want to come on and share, it's just gonna be a place where they can relax, enjoy themselves, and then next thing you know, next time I want you to bring you some wine, coffee, whatever you like to drink. Bring it, and we gonna. So before we leave, tell everybody who you are, and if
I'm
you're on
Spencer.
social media, if they can support you, whatever you're doing, if they can support you, how they can support you, please share that before we leave.
Okay, my name is Petra Bailon. I am a life insurance broker. I own a financial group. I just started actually. I do credit repair and I do taxes. So I have three things that I do. And I do have a business page. It's under Petra Luna Bailon.
Well, I definitely enjoyed you on tonight. I thank you for stopping by and
Thank you. I
blessing
had
us
a
on
great time.
tonight. Definitely will be in touch with you. Gabriel Bylon, right? I'm gonna see if I can remember that. I'm gonna go write that down when we get off. But you
Okay.
have a good night, and I will
You
definitely
too.
send you
Thank
a
you so
clip
much for
of
having
this.
me.
You are welcome. You are welcome. You have a good night, and thank you for
You too.
stopping by.
Thank you.
I want to thank everyone that chose to stop by and share with us on tonight. I tell you, I truly enjoyed this. If you know someone that is incarcerated, if you have a loved one that's incarcerated, if you are a spouse of a incarcerated person, please reach out. Share with me, be my guest. Again, we air every fourth Monday of the month, starting the month of October, and I'm excited about season 2. If you're out there and you would like to be a host on the network, please make sure that you get in contact with me, Apostle Tamala, Hezekiah, or one of these amazing hosts that's a part of the Crew Podcast. I'm telling you, you don't want to not be a part of this amazing family. We'll push you to the limit and we'll get you to step outside that box. Y'all, good night. I hope you enjoyed the show. If something touched you on tonight, I want you to share it in your circle of influence. I've enjoyed you guys. Y'all be blessed. I love you.